Sponsored by Chartered Financial Strategies. You are now watching Tax Bites.
Welcome to another episode of Tax Bites, and today is going to address yesterday's bill that was signed by the president. It's the Paycheck Protection Flexibility Act. It loosens some of the key rules that were related to how funds are used, forgiveness of loan funds, and that nature. So it's about five-ish, six-ish of these rules that are relaxed, and we'll go through them real quickly. The first one is the time for using the fund proceeds has moved from 8 weeks. You had 8 weeks to use the funds you got. Now you've got 24 weeks, roughly 6 months, and it's the earlier of the date. It's 24 weeks from the day you got your loan funds or the end of the year. So if you start moving into July, you may find you don't have as much time to use those funds as could be, because you'll be cut off by the end of the year time frame. So that loosens things up, and the purpose is business owners would better know how to deploy their funds in a way that's most prudent for them and to keep the business up and running, and therefore a long-term opportunity economically for the economy to work and be re-stimulated. The next one is there was in the old provision, or still is to some extent, a calculation that says, did you rehire, did you reduce wages, did you reduce hours, employees, or whatever. So the forgiveness of these funds was there was a calculation wrapped around, did the business bring everybody back or reduce wages or whatever, and to the extent they did, there would be a reduction of forgiveness of funds. And what they've done is they've established a rather vague, somewhat, condition that says if you can document that you couldn't hire these people back because your business couldn't get back to normal, especially if you had to do additional procedures in the business to address the coronavirus requirements, health and human services requirements in your business, or maybe you offer the job to people and they wouldn't come back, they had chosen to go a different direction employment wise, whatever. Documenting those things and showing that you couldn't bring them back or they wouldn't come back might give you some ability to forgive more than would normally be done. It is a bit vague on how you document, it's a bit vague on what you do. So this is really a key area to sit with your tax advisor and really map out a plan that kind of identify, or more than kind of, it does identify why certain people didn't come back or why certain positions were not refilled and that kind of a thing. The next one is borrowers. You used to, it's like it's a long time ago, but a couple months back, the law was you had to use 75% of these funds for payroll, set 25% for rent, utilities, whatever was your other portion. It could be non-discretionary or a bit more discretionary. They've changed that split to 60% payroll, 40% other business expenses, and so there's some more flexibility in how you can use those funds more so than before. And that again goes to other reasons, just some as before, more discretion of the business owner what they need to do to kind of keep the business up and running. The 2-year extent, or the 2-year date for the loan maturity to pay back if you weren't getting forgiven, has been changed to 5. So that's the other change here, is that you now have a 5-year payment plan instead of a 2-year payment plan, and that gives again more flexibility on how to pay it back, easier use of funds, that kind of a thing. The Now borrowers now of these PPP funds can apply for some level of late payment of, or not late payment, delayed payment of payroll taxes of sorts. And so again, I think this is where you want to sit with your advisor, understand how you figure out what is going to be considered a payroll tax that can be deferred, what not, all that kind of stuff. It's not as simple as those words say. So this is something to sit with your tax advisor and get more details on. The extension of the loan payment deferral period. What this was is, I think you had 6 months to defer payments. Now they're saying you have until the time you submit your documentation for, application of forgiveness to the lender. There was about a 10-month period wrapped around that you have to fall within, but there's more flexibility to say I can defer my payments on these loans until I've at least applied for forgiveness to some extent. Again, work with your tax advisor for more clarity on that. So this is really, about 5, 6, 7-ish changes to the act. I think a lot of them are very beneficial, but they do come with vague language, vague direction, and with vagueness comes the opportunity for agencies, IRS, SBA, whoever, to leave it to themselves to interpret what those vague use of wording in law, how it gets implemented. So this is where you get ahead of it, just like before, with your tax advisor, have a plan, have things laid out, and it's better to be more buttoned up now than wait till a year or so later when the questions are coming. So I hope this has been insightful and helpful. As always, like, subscribe, share, and have a good day.